Hey folks, Justin Cupler here with another AutoGazine.com review. I'm a happy camper today because I'm back in the driver's seat of a Lexus. But it is the most boring Lexus, the ES 300H. Also known as a Toyota Avalon hybrid with a Lexus badge, also known as an old man's Lexus. So, what is a Lexus ES 300H anyways? Well, it's based on the Toyota Avalon hybrid. Those of you who have ever driven the Avalon hybrid and you hop into this, you're going to say, yeah, it's an Avalon hybrid, it's been gussied up. This is really the last of the Lexus sedans to do that. Lexus has really moved far away from taking Toyota models and sprucing them up. The IS is its own platform, its own car. The GS is its own platform, its own car. It's pretty, they're doing much better at that, but the ES is one of those carryovers that's still a Toyota under the skin. That's not a bad thing though, because the Avalon in its new generation stretched out the 111-inch wheelbase that gives you a whole lot of room in its back seat. Well, luckily, the ES rides on that platform, which happens to be the same platform as the Camry, but the Camry's wheelbase is a little bit shorter, so you get that smaller wheelbase. In years past, before the 6th generation, which is the current generation, the ES 300H actually rode on the Camry's platform, so it had a tighter back seat. But because buyers were looking for larger back seats, and in both the Avalon and the ES, they stretched that wheelbase to give you a little bit more room in that back seat. Unfortunately, with that back seat also comes a smaller trunk, especially in the ES 300H, because this model with the battery back there, it actually shrinks that seat, or the cargo room, down to just 12.1 cubic feet. That barely fits my stroller and a few bags of groceries, so you may find that a little bit too snug for your liking. But other than that, you know, that small trunk space, the rest of the inside of the ES 300 hybrid is pretty incredible. It's super comfortable, super soft. These seats are soft yet supportive, which is a weird combination. I don't find myself, moving around to find a comfortable spot. This model also came with the ventilated seats, which is an option, but you can get that, and the ventilation is amazing. Keeps you nice and cool down here in these warmer Florida winters. The back seats, while roomy at 40 inches of legroom, they also are very comfortable. Lexus did not skimp on those. Lexus didn't say, well, let's focus on the front seats and screw the people in the back seat. They don't matter. No, they're just as comfy back there, so you'll have no issues putting your business associates or your adult or teenage children in the back seats. The third seat in the center is actually wide enough to fit a person in it. So the person sitting in the center is not cramped too much. It's not as roomy as the outside seats, but they're not cramped. Up front, you have a lot of nice stuff. You have the steering wheel, which is perfectly weighted. You have all the buttons that are intuitively placed. Your infotainment system up here, your radio system, the Mark Levinson system, which is amazing, is nicely set up. The buttons are all intuitively placed. It's not overdone. There's not 1,000 buttons. There's only a handful. Like I said, the Mark Levinson 15-speaker audio system, which is an option. It's about a $3,000 option, which comes with the navigation system and 8-inch LCD screen. That system is amazing. The bass pounds, the mids are perfect, the highs are crisp. It's really a well-rounded system. But one downside to getting this system is you also are stuck with that damn remote touch system that Lexus touts. It's a silly little mouse-like doodad down here that you move around that moves a cursor. Instead of having that normal touchscreen, you just plunk down on a touchscreen, you now have to match a cursor up with whatever you want to select. And if you try to use the system while driving, you're going to get yourself pretty pissed off. I've driven so many Lexuses, and it makes me nuts every time I touch it. Toyota's Inform system is nice. It's got touchscreens that you can just blunk, 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 and you're done. Why can't Lexus? I understand they want this system. I understand this is kind of their signature. But why can't Lexus bring this touchscreen out of its little hole down here and put it up front where you can actually, use it as a redundant system instead of using this silly remote touch thing? Don't understand why Lexus can't do that and Toyota can. Hopefully they'll fix that in the future, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. The powertrain, let's talk about that, because that's really what makes the ES300H what it is. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder paired with electric motors that push this thing to a total of 200 horsepower. The electric motor has about 156 horsepower. The electric motors pump in the rest. It's not it's not enough for this large sedan. It's not overly large, but a mid-size sedan like this that weighs a lot because of all of its features, it's a little bogged down with that engine. You put it in the sport mode, it's a little bit better. The acceleration gets a little more acceptable, but it's still just shy of 8 seconds to 60 miles an hour, about 7.7, 7.8 seconds, depending on the conditions. That's not good enough for a luxury sedan. People who drive luxury sedans expect a lot more punch. They expect a little more giddy up, and this might not hit that spot. Also, the handling. The handling is equally meh. It's not terrible, but it's not Lexus. You get in a GS and you slam that thing around the corners, it hugs. It is great. It's an incredible handling machine. This one, it's a little bit softer. It rolls a little bit. It leans a little bit more than I like. And with the front wheel drive, you don't get the back wheels kind of pushing you around. The front wheels are pulling you, so you tend to lose a little bit of traction. But with that softer handling comes an amazing ride. So sure, it doesn't handle quite as well, but it rides amazingly. So it seems like what Lexus is doing is really tuning to demographics here. Lexus is marketing this to people in their middle ages, people in their 40s, 50s, maybe even into their 60s, getting close to retirement, who aren't as concerned about performance, who are more interested in that soft ride, the larger back seat. They're not worried about cutting corners or hitting that driving line or anything like that, because you're not going to do that in the ES300. So it's definitely catering to the crowd that's going to buy this car. Another way it caters to that crowd is with its 40 miles per gallon combined rating from the EPA. It gets 40 combined, 40 city, and 39 highway. I had a bit of a rough time hitting that mark. I averaged about 34 to 36 miles per gallon. I did drive mostly highway, but still I should have averaged about 39. And what's weird is this powertrain is the exact same powertrain that's in my RAV4 hybrid. So you'd think I'd be used to catching the EV mode, keeping this thing in EV as long as possible. Unfortunately, I never did. I tried and could never really meet that 40 miles per gallon that the EPA says it does. But many other reviews have said they've hit it and even exceeded it. So maybe it is my driving style. So while I didn't hit it, I'm going to defer to the millions of other reviews that say it does 40 miles per gallon. So you combine an 8-second 0 to 60 time, soft handling, with its amazing ride quality and high miles per gallon. It's easy to see that they're catering to a higher demographic, an older demographic. Now, what's funny though is, because even though it caters that higher demographic, the older demographic, this is actually the best-selling Lexus sedan. I actually researched it before I did the review. It outsells the GS by a long shot. Outsells the entry-level IS, which amazed me, by a few thousand. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's about 10,000 or so. And it's the second best-selling of all Lexus models of all. It comes in just behind, not just behind, about half of the RX crossovers sales. RX crossovers well over 100,000. This came in just shy of 60,000 in 2016. So it's just about half of that, which is kind of amazing, because Lexus sedans like Acura, they've never been big sellers. Their SUVs have always been the big sellers. But to have one of their sedans actually crest 50,000 and come close to 60,000 is pretty damn impressive. And it shows that though this has some shortcomings, though it's not what we expect of a luxury sedan, it's not sporty, it's not quick, it doesn't handle all that well, it's not a true Lexus like we think, it actually sells super well. So there must be something about what Lexus is doing that caters so well to that demographic that it sells like hotcakes. I'm not in that demographic, so I don't see it, I don't feel it. I really feel like this is a Toyota. I don't feel like I'm driving a Lexus other than the beautiful features. So that's one of the problems I have with it. And the other problem I have that combines with that is its price tag. When you buy this car base, you're getting it at $41,820. And it's not too terribly well equipped. It comes with a lot of goodies, but it's not overwhelmingly equipped. It doesn't have a ton of goodies that people are clamoring for. You do still get the nice ride, you get the powertrain, you get the nice comfortable seats, but it's missing some of the big features I have, like the Mark Levinson system, the 8-inch screen up here, the blind spot monitor, all that good stuff. Now, speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about the options that mine has, because it has a lot. My model comes with a slew of options. They want to impress us, of course. That's why they do this. But, so, let's start at the top. Blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert is $500. It costs $515 to get the LED high-end low beams, which I like. They're nice. It's $2,590 for the Mark Levinson 15-speaker sound system and the navigation system, which also jumps the 7-inch touchscreen up to an 8-inch touchscreen. It also gives you Lexus Inform, the Inform app suite. $400 for the Power one-touch trunk. You push a little button on the bottom, yep, comes up automatically. Push another button, comes down automatically, or you can do it with the remote. You push one button and it opens up and closes, etc. $500 for Lexus's Intuitive Park Assist. Their sonar, it's sonar, it's radar. It beeps when you back up too close to something. It's nothing intuitive, it's just sonar. I don't know why Lexus calls it intuitive and why they charge $500 for them, but they do, and that's what the cost is. The big one is $3,000 for the Ultra Luxury Package, which adds your wood trim, which is gloss wood trim. It's not open pore, which, I don't know, some people find it cheaper looking. I think it looks a little cheaper. Some people prefer it, but I prefer the open pore wood, but Lexus doesn't have that. So you get the lacquered glossy wood. You also get driver and passenger memory seats, which is pretty good for people who drive with multiple drivers. That's nice. My wife and I have our own settings. The power and manual rear sunshades. I don't know if you can see it in the back. The very back seat, you can see it come down. That's power. Goes back up. There are also manual ones on each main rear window, and the quarter rear windows have little tiny itty bitty cute ones that come over and cover the quarter window. It also gives you a power seat cushion extender, which I haven't used yet. I gotta try that. Oh yeah, it extends up. That's pretty nice. Gives you that for short people. It supports more knees. That's nice. I wish I would have known that a while ago. It also has the power tilt and telescoping steering wheel, which is nice, and the panoramic moonroof, which doesn't look very panoramic to me, but they call it panorama glass. Doesn't look panorama to me, but that's $3,000 for that package. Another $450 for a heated wood trim steering wheel. Useless here in Florida, but okay, thanks Lexus. And then $255 to get a hunk of carpet thrown in the trunk. That's how I come to a grand total of $50,030 for the Lexus ES 300H that I'm driving today. Again, the base model is $41,820. So with that, you're still getting a lot of these goodies. You're still getting you're getting the premium seats, getting the drivetrain, the soft ride, 7-inch navigation, or not navigation, 7-inch infotainment screen, a pretty decent sound system. Even the base Lexus sound system is pretty damn incredible, and a lot of other good stuff. But at $50,000, I'm having a hard time with it, because this really feels a lot like it competes more with Acura and not even Infiniti, more like an Acura, maybe even Highline Buicks. It doesn't have that $50,000 car feel, because it still feels like a Toyota. So, but it is the best-selling Lexus. That's the problem I'm having, is it's still the best-selling Lexus sedan out there. Why do people love this thing? I would so much rather have the GS. But apparently people love this thing. Maybe you love it. Maybe you think this is exactly what you're looking for. You don't care about the handling. You don't care about the 0 to 60 time. You just want a nice, comfy car with lots of room in the back. If that's you, this is for you. And the chances are the majority of you watching this review, that's probably you. So go ahead, go check out your local Lexus dealer. Give this thing a test drive. While you're test driving it, make sure you check out the remote interface. Make sure you touch this thing. Make sure you feel how it works, how it functions, so you don't get pissed off a mile down the road trying to use this interface. Make sure you try it out. Make sure you can live with it. Make sure you can handle the wood. Make sure you're okay with this glossy wood. Make sure it feels good to you. Make sure you can handle the CVT transmission, which drones a little bit. Get it up to about 50-55 miles per hour, and listen for the whirring from the electric motors, because there is a pronounced whir at about 50 to 55 miles per hour. Listen to that. See if you can handle that. That's actually kind of compounded by the CVT transmission. So check those out and make sure you can live with this, and then go try out some of its competitors. Try out the Acura TLX. Try out the Acura RLX. They have a really nice hybrid version of that. Try those vehicles out. See if how those compete to this and which one you prefer. Then let me know in the comments. Let me know what you found out. If you bought this car, you fell in love with it, let me know. If you hated every moment of driving it, let me know. If you think I don't know what I'm talking about and I should just love this car, let me know what you think. Otherwise, I will catch you all next week. I'm not too sure what I'm driving next week. They haven't gotten back to me with what my next test car is. But either way, I shall be back next week, and I will see you all then. Ciao.